Alright, here we go. We're ready to, we already did a little bit of a knob at the top. What we're going to do is we're going to put, we're going to start carving out that little line that we did previously. So I'm just going to go around and just knock a little chip out here, because I went around it already. Doesn't come out, you just go back and make another cut on top of it. Okay, and what we're going to do here now is we're going to do this again. We're going to cut this. You want to be careful doing this because you don't want to slip. You can lay it on a table like I'm doing now. I'm just going to follow that out. I'm not making that line even. I'm just kind of wiggling it all over the place a little bit. Because it's kind of, it's not straight across. Alright, and we're just going to round this out a little bit. Again, go all the way around, cut it out. And you see how much I use to control the knife this way. If you're new, please wear a glove and a thumb guard. You know, it will protect you somewhat from cuts. It's not 100% cut proof, but it will help you. Okay. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go around and cut it out again. Follow that line all the way around like I did before. And you can see it's kind of curved inward up here on both sides. So from the top down it curls under, and from here it slopes over forward. So I've had a lot of fun doing the branch guides for ornaments here. I have a new type of ornament I will show you after the show is over. I've been trying to make a few for the show, and I haven't made a tape on it yet. I certainly will. I promised that earlier, and I just got caught up with this show bit because it's kind of a last minute thing here. Okay. So we're just going to, and the other thing we're going to do is we're going to start trimming this to a point. So rounding this bottom portion off. So I'm just going to go around like so, and I'm just going to round it off. And one of the tricks that I use, if the wood is a little bit tough, I use a little bit of alcohol and water. Just like you see here, and 50-50, it's rubbing, 50% rubbing alcohol to 70%, and that's going to go anyway, so we'll get rid of those marks here. I'm just going to get rid of those marks right now. They're annoying me a little bit, them being there. It's kind of throwing me off. So, okay. So we want to just make this nice and round and kind of a plump. You don't want to cut too much, you want to round it off. So just take the edge off a little bit. That rubbing alcohol and water will absolutely soften it up for you. It will make it feel a lot easier to cut through the wood, and it's definitely a help. I use it a lot. You just have to be careful not to overuse it, simply because you don't want it to come back after it's dry and see all these little checks everywhere. And believe me, folks, it has happened to me. So, okay. So the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to round this off towards that. So we're going to just round this off. the edge here. We're going to do this over again. A lot of this is going to be a repeat cuts, folks. It's fine. If you're a beginner, it'll teach you how to do a stop cut, which is what we did up here. It will teach you how to use the tip of your knife to get close to the edge there. You know, that's part of the challenge. And a lot of it's just eyeing your piece up, making sure. You're going to see me switch back and forth because I want to try to keep it that I'm not just doing one, too much of one area. You know, and that's part of being a good carver is trying to work in all the areas to keep it from looking blocky. You know, eyeing it up all the time. And sometimes even walking away from it for a little while and then coming back to it, you get a different perspective of it. So you're doing a lot of carving, and I think just being tired can make you don't see it as well. Alright, so see how it's coming together here? So the cat's kind of there, but I'm going to trim off. This is if you look at it, the middle portion right here should be a thicker portion, okay? This is going to be more rounded and to a point. So we're just going to keep rounding this off. And that's all a matter of just taking your knife and keep chopping away. The reason I blew it up a little bit bigger is because I think it would be easier for you to carve and to hang on to it. By all means, you can do a smaller one if you want. Now, how did I get these dimensions really quickly before we go to a break here? What I did was I laid it on a photocopier and I enlarged it by 1.5 times. And this is how big it became from 1.5 times. Now, of course, it's got a lot more work to it. It's still a little bit too square format for my taste. So we're just going to keep... Well, the one thing we want to do is establish where the point is here. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a little black dot in here, and this is an area we're not going to go past, just like the other side. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're just going to keep chopping away, and we're going to kind of do the same things what we did at the top here. We're going to work towards that center, because that needs to be a little point down there. So let's do that. I'm just taking little snippets, as you can see, just little snippets, and just going around, hanging on to my piece, and then pushing with my thumb. It's a very simple, easy, and controlled method of carving. And just take your time. Take your time. Okay, we'll be back.